He saw messages between Tola and Taye. They were talking about the night of Taye's party. Ayo and Tola lived in a busy neighborhood in Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos was a big city with many people, busy markets, and busy streets. Ayo was a kind man who worked very hard every day while Tola worked as a banker. Ayo and Tola got married. Ayo and Tola's marriage was full of joy and love from the very beginning. They met at a friend's wedding in Lagos and quickly fell in love. Their wedding was a grand celebration with dancing and lots of delicious Yoruba food. Everyone in the city celebrated their union, hoping they would have a blessed and happy life together. Shortly after their wedding, Ayo and Tola moved into their house in Lagos. Ayo works in a rig, which is far away from home. He would leave for many days to work hard and make money for his family. Working on the rig was tough. Ayo missed his family when he was away. He knew he was doing it to give them a good life. Tola worked as a banker in a big bank in Lagos. She helped people with their money on the counter and made sure everything was correct. Every morning, she dressed up in smart clothes and went to work with a smile. She was very good at her job. Even though Ayo and Tola worked hard, they always made time for each other. They talked on the phone when Ayo was away. They shared their dreams and planned their future. They wanted to have children who would run around the house, filling it with laughter and happiness. But there was a secret Tola had. Before she married Ayo, she had a boyfriend named Taye. Taye was nice and made her laugh. She spent a lot of time together and had fun. But things didn't work out between them and they broke up. Then Tola met Ayo and fell in love with him. She decided to marry Ayo because she liked him and he was rich. After getting married to Ayo, Tola still talked to Taye sometimes. They would call each other on the phone when Ayo was away at work. Tola and Taye would talk and laugh like old times. They talked about many things and it made Tola happy to have someone to chat with while Ayo was away. Taye would call Ayo at her work in the bank and they would talk during her lunch break. Sometimes Taye would call her in the evening when Ayo was not home. They talked about their lives, their dreams, and their memories. Tola felt a little guilty, but she enjoyed talking to Taye. She didn't tell Ayo about these calls because she didn't want to make him sad or worried. One day, Taye called Tola with exciting news. He was having a birthday party and wanted her to come. "Please come to my party, Tola," Taye said. "It would mean a lot to me." Tola thought about it. She knew Ayo was away at work and he won't be coming back soon. She decided to go to the party, but didn't tell Ayo because she didn't want him to know. She told herself it was just a party and nothing bad would happen. On the evening of the party, Tola dressed up nicely and went to Taye's house. The party was fun with lots of people, music, and delicious food. Taye and Tola talked and laughed just like old times. They danced and had a great time. Tola felt happy and carefree. As the night went on, the party started to wind down. It got late and most of the guests had left. Taye noticed the time and said, "Tola, it's very late. It's not safe for you to go home now. Why don't you stay here for the night?" Tola felt unsure. She knew it wasn't right to stay, but Taye insisted. "Please, Tola, I have a spare room where you can sleep. It's just for tonight. Feeling tired and unsure of what to do, Tola agreed to stay. She told herself it was just for one night and nothing more. Taye showed her to the spare room, but as they talked, the memories and feelings from their past came back. They spent more time together, talking and laughing, and before they knew it, they made a mistake. That night, Taye and Tola had an affair. Oh no. The next morning, Tola felt very guilty and sad. She knew what she had done was wrong, and she felt terrible for betraying Ayo. She quickly got dressed and left Taye's house, feeling confused and scared. She promised herself never to tell Ayo about what's happened because she didn't want to hurt him. When Ayo came back from work, everything seemed normal. Tola tried her best to act like nothing had happened, but deep inside, she felt the weight of her secrets. She continued to show love and care for her family, but the memory of that night with Taye stayed with her, making her feel sad and guilty sometimes. After some time passed since the party with Taye, Tola felt the weight of her secrets grow heavier. She loved Ayo deeply and wanted to make things right. One day, she gathered her courage and spoke to Ayo. It's been a year since we got married. I think it is time for us to have a baby. Ayo listened carefully, his eyes gentle as he understood her longing. Yes, Tola, he said with a warm smile. I think that's a wonderful idea. Let's try to have a baby. Tola felt relieved that Ayo accepted her suggestion. She knew in her heart that starting a family with him was the right path forward. Together, they began to plan and dream about their future child, filling their days with hope and anticipation. Their love grew stronger as they embarked on this new journey together. Tola was grateful for Ayo's understanding and forgiveness. Even though she still carried the sorrow of her past mistake, she promised herself to cherish their love and never let anything come between them again. Continued to hope and dream about having a baby. Tola was very happy when she found out she was pregnant. She smiled a lot and rubbed her tummy gently. Feeling the little baby growing inside her, she knew in her heart that the baby was growing from her love with Ayo. But deep down, she also knew a secret that made her sad. She remembered the night she spent with Taye, and she knew he was the baby's father. This made her feel worried and scared. Tola loved Ayo so much that she didn't want to hurt him. She decided to keep the secrets and not tell him that the baby was not just his. She pretended to Ayo that the baby growing inside her was from their love. As the days passed, Ayo was very excited about becoming a daddy. He kissed Tola's tummy and talked to the baby every night. Tola smiled and tried to be happy, but sometimes she felt sad because of her secrets. She promised herself that she would love the baby with all her heart, no matter where it came from. She hopes that their family would stay happy and together, even though she carried a heavy secret inside her. Time passed and Tola's tummy grew bigger and bigger. One sunny day, she went to the hospital because the baby was ready to come out. Ayo held her hand tight and smiled with excitement. Tola was a little nervous, but she knew Ayo was there for her. After a while, they heard a tiny cry. The doctor said, "It's a boy." Ayo's eyes filled with happiness as he saw his baby for the first time. He hugged Tola and said, "Thank you, Tola. Thank you for our beautiful baby boy." Tola smiled back, feeling a mix of joy and sadness. She loved her baby boy dearly, but she also knew a secret that made her heart heavy. She remembered the time with Taye and knew that he was the baby's father, not just Ayo. Even though she felt scared sometimes, Tola promised herself that she would be the best mommy she could be. She cuddled her baby boy, kissed his soft cheeks, and sang him songs. Ayo was so happy to be a daddy that he didn't notice Tola's worries. As the baby boy grew, Tola's love for him grew too. Ayo played with their son every evening after work, and they laughed together as a family. Tola still had her secrets inside. She didn't want to make Ayo sad, so she never told him that their baby boy was also Taye's son. She hoped that their family would always be happy and that her secret would stay hidden forever. One day, when Ayo came home from work, he felt something was not right. He noticed Tola seemed worried and kept looking away. He wondered why she was acting strange. When Tola went to the kitchen to prepare dinner, Ayo saw her phone left on the table. He felt a strange feeling in his stomach and decided to look at Tola's phone. He saw messages between Tola and Taye. They were talking about the night of Taye's party and saying things that made Ayo feel very sad. Ayo read the messages over and over again. He saw that Tola and Taye had spent time together that night. He felt his heart break into little pieces. He couldn't believe that Tola had kept the secret from him. Ayo went to his bedroom and sat on the bed. He felt angry and hot. He loved Tola very much, and he thought they were happy together. Now, he didn't know what to think. He remembered all the times they had laughed and played with their baby boy. He wondered if everything had been a lie. Ayo didn't talk to Tola that night. He lay in bed, thinking about what he had read. He felt confused and sad. He loved Tola, but now he didn't know if he could trust her anymore. He wanted to know why Tola didn't tell him the truth. The next morning, Ayo woke up feeling very sad. He still couldn't stop thinking about what he had found on Tola's phone. He decided he needed to talk to someone he trusted about what was happening. Ayo called his friend, Uncle Yemi. Uncle Yemi was very wise and always knew what to do in difficult situations. Ayo told Uncle Yemi everything that had happened, how he found messages between Tola and Taye, and how he felt so hurt and confused. Uncle Yemi listened carefully to Ayo. He could see how much Ayo was hurting. After a moment of thinking, Uncle Yemi said gently, "I understand this is very hard for you. It is important to talk about these feelings. Have you thought about what you want to do next?" Ayo sighed and said, "I don't know, Uncle Yemi. I love Tola and our baby so much, but I don't know if I can trust Tola anymore. Why didn't she tell me about Taye? How can I know if our baby boy is really mine?" Uncle Yemi nodded thoughtfully. Sometimes when we face big questions like this, we need to find answers. Have you thought about doing a DNA test on your baby boy? It's a way to find out for sure if he is your son. Ayo had heard of DNA tests before. He knew it was something that could tell if someone is really a family member. But Uncle Yemi, Ayo asked, "Won't it hurt Tola and our baby boy if I ask for a DNA test?" Uncle Yemi replied gently, "I know it's a difficult decision, but finding the truth is important for your family's future. It is better to know the truth than to wonder and worry. Talk to Tola about how you feel and why you want to do the test. She might understand." Ayo thought about what Uncle Yemi said. He knew he needed to talk to Tola, honestly and openly. He didn't want to lose his family. but he also wanted to make sure they can trust each other again. After thinking for a long time about what Uncle Yemi had said, Ayo decided it was time to talk to Tola about his feelings. That evening, when they were sitting together in their living room after dinner, Ayo took Tola's hand gently and said, "Tola, I need to talk to you about something important." Tola looked at Ayo with concern in her eyes. She could see he was serious. Ayo took a deep breath and said, "I found messages on your phone a while ago. Messages between you and Tai about that night of his party. I saw things that made me feel very sad and confused." Tola's eyes widened in surprise. She felt a lump in her throat. Knowing what Ayo was talking about, she had hoped he would never find out. I didn't mean to keep it from you," she said quietly. Ayo nodded sadly. "I understand, Tola. But now, I need to know the truth. I want us to do a DNA test on our baby boy to find out if he is really my son." Tola's heart sank. She felt scared and unsure. Our baby is our baby. Why do we need a test?" Ayo shook his head gently. "I need to be sure, Tola. It's important to me. Please understand." Tola looked into Ayo's eyes and saw the pain and uncertainty. She knew she had to agree, even though it scared her. "If it will help you trust me again, we'll do the test." The next day, Ayo and Tola went to the hospital together with their baby boy. The doctors took a small sample from the baby's mouth with a gentle swab. They said the test would take a few days to get the results. Those few days felt like the longest days of Ayo and Tola's life. They tried to stay calm and take care of their baby boy, but their hearts were heavy with worry. Finally, the day came when the hospital called Ayo with the results. He took a deep breath and answered the phone. The doctor on the other end said, "I'm sorry to tell you that, based on the DNA test, you are not the biological father of the baby." Ayo felt like the ground had fallen out from under him. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Tola stood beside him, tears streaming his cheeks. Ayo hung up the phone and turned to Tola. His voice was trembling as he said, "Tola, why didn't you tell me? Why?" Tola hugged Ayo tightly, sobbing. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I was scared. I didn't want to lose you. Please forgive me." After hearing the news from the hospital, Ayo felt very sad and hurt. He loved Tola, but he couldn't stop thinking about how she kept a big secret from him. His heart felt heavy with all the feelings inside. Ayo looked at Tola with tears in his eyes. He knew he needed to think and sort out his feelings. "Tola," he said quietly, "I need some time alone right now." Tola nodded sadly, understanding how hot Ayo was. She packed a few things quietly and left their house. Feeling lost and heartbroken, Ayo watched her go, feeling like his whole world had turned upside down. Days passed and Ayo thought a lot about what had happened. He missed Tola and their baby boy, but he also felt betrayed and couldn't forget the pain. He talked to Uncle Yemi again, who listened carefully and said, "Forgiveness is hard, but it's important to listen to your heart." Ayo realized that forgiving Tola would take time. He knew he loved her, but he also needed to heal from the hurt she caused. He hoped one day they could talk and find a way to move forward together. The moral of this story is that It is important to be honest and tell the truth, even when it is hard. Secrets can hurt people we love. When we make mistakes, saying sorry and asking for forgiveness is important. Trust takes time to build back, but love can help heal hurt feelings. Another interesting story is dropping real soon. Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do so, for you not to miss out. It is completely free. Thank you for watching. Bye.